Hi again, folks. Okay, right, I've done the aqua row, which is row 3, and I've done row 4, which is the olive, darker green there. And like I said, if the light isn't brilliant, please let me know. I am more than happy to do these again. So now we're ready to do row 5. Now before we start, we need to change hooks if you're following the pattern to the letter. It says in the pattern to change down to a 3.5mm, but I had to adjust that for my tension, so I'm actually using a 4mm. So adjust your hook whichever way you need to. Okay, so we're not changing colour at this point, and I've woven my other end in. So I'm going to chain 1 because again I'm using this chain 1 as my first stitch. So I keep my edges nice and neat. So I'll mark that now so I know where it is when I come back along. Then we need to, if you're following the pattern, you need to put a stitch in that base if you're not using your turning chain as a stitch, and then a double crochet into the second stitch. So that's 2 double crochets. Okay, then it wants us to skip 2. So remember when I was talking about stitch anatomies when we were doing the rounds, and when you're working in a round it's much easier because you're always on the right side. In this particular instance we're working on the wrong side, and so the opposite is true. So when we're looking at stitch anatomy, this part here is the stitch, the post of the stitch here, and this hole to the left is the top of that stitch. And I'm bringing that up now because it's important to remember when you're on the wrong side that the top of the stitch is on the left of the post, but when you're working on the right side, the top of the stitch, if I turn it around, is on the right side of the post. So just to highlight that really, because it will come in useful when we come to do further rounds. So anyway, back to what we were doing. So we're skipping 2, so we're skipping that one and that one, and then in the third stitch along it wants us to put 7 trebles. So that's 7 complete trebles into that one stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Don't worry, it will create a hole. There's nothing you can really do about that. It adds to the look anyway. So we've done that. Then it wants us to skip 2 more stitches. So again, looking for the hole to the left, 1, 2, and then in the next 3 stitches we're putting 3 double crochets. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and then we're on the repeat action. So the repeat is to skip 2 stitches. So that's 1, that's 2, and put 7 into the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Still in the repeat, so we skip another 2. So I've just identified. So that's 1, 2 we're skipping, working into this third one, 3 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2 and 3, and back to the repeat. So skip 2, so that's 1, 2, working into this third, 7 trebles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Skip 2, so 1, 2, and then next stitch 3 stitches, we're putting 3 doubles. 1, 2 and 3, and then we're off repeating again. So we skip 2 and 7 into the third stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Skip 2 and then 3 doubles. 1, 2 and 3. So you can see we're starting to get that a wave. Not like block 1, it's very different, but it's given an interesting shape anyway. So we're back to a repeat. So we're missing 2 and putting 7 into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So we missed 2. This is where I've wove my ending, so they're not as easily identified, but there's 1, there's 2, 3 doubles. 1, 2 and 3. And then back to the repeat action. So skip 2, 1, 2 and 7 trebles into that third one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Then we're skipping 2, 1, 2 and 3 doubles. 1, 2 and 3. And then we're still in the repeat, so we're skipping 2 and putting 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And then we're still skipping 2, 1, 2, and then it's 2 doubles in the last 2 stitches, so there's 1 goes in there, and my last stitch is where my stitch marker is, because that's the turning chain from the first round. So I'll just put that in there, and we're changing colour to mint if you're following the pattern, or whatever alternative colour you may be using instead of. So I've just changed my colour like so, and row 6 starts with a chain of 3, so we'll 1, 2 and 3. I'm going to mark that top chain because that's the one that identifies the last stitch on the return journey. I'm going to cut my ends and weave them in as usual, so I'm not going to show you that. So there we are. So remember, this is the wrong side, so if I turn it over, that's what we're looking at on the right side, with your bobbles all protruding out nicely. So the round 5 is relatively simple. It's just about placing lots of trebles into the same place and identifying the correct stitches to put those stitches. So I hope that was helpful. I'm going to do row 6 next, so I'll speak to you soon. Happy hooking, thank you.